This is Kessben 93.3 FM, a new wave of excellence in radio.
PMP, then the election would have been 138 with one spot ballot or something else. I think we must test the law to know what it says about it. Greetings to Grandma Nana Obidiaba Nana Unguda. That's what he says and said. Please, I'm Reverend Namte Daniel. Okay. Now that our MP have been disqualified for dual citizenship case, what are the implications awaiting him? Because we all know that the court warned him not to go to Parliament House for swearing in, but he refused. Will he be charged with contempt of court, criminal case, or both? The question is, can the NDC people who encourage him to disobey the court be also, will they be able to save him now? We must always do the right thing. Osankide is for sending this from Taifa. Okay, and this one says, Omahini, good morning. Good morning to you too. And it says, happy birthday to my son Gerard, Kokwe champion of Tafo International School. Thank you very much. Honorable Samuel Adejekum, District Chief Executive for Kumawu, Mimwachi. Now I'm to say, and some no doso and never do me noir. About for some folk and for real tabe comra shebejafie at the media review budget ako. And probably no any more says Sammy Beba now will be before fro and it's going to be the same kojo. Like Momo, the old wadi, the old thing. And I said, yes, anymore. Do me a nuba Alibaba et trasi, our breaking news. Sancho saying now on any na pamful at the bet took more nimna mot CB. UTAG say nationwide strike. Almost say August 2nd, which is next coming Monday. Omoni go from Cancer almost say. Abang SK bi ano kaso de ma $2,008 bi ayo almost salary no ne niam bi no abang na ya ma free hoti almost omu mpa akatiantu mu om de akatiantu mu no kai om time om from 2000 to ho baby e dado ama wo mo na bibia enkoso kama ani the whole asem a waka etiawa or see these two shall pass.
That's right.
Dismissal from the party no or see nothing more can you na back up these two when so be day a bit coronavirus na and also a home asema echo mami tio Nurudeen Abass for now also me ma 11 minutes also so 11 minutes
oh mine dada no e dia kasa ma mantem nti adimi na adimi
me ma ne kasa from 49
Matthias o mine
mami tio why
o mine ade a esi nra no e ya rehosem na se ne wo ka no say ya sheda say yesisi mretira say yemfa mra enya adwuma na ya ade bia a bet tilted the balance of power in favor of a certain political party. O mahene say ne yesi ka asem no wa ha say no kra no I think say we are not being fair to Justice Question because there are several instances who read the Ghana law reporter High Court are making ruling on a particular subject. Appeals court krajia tum na ko Supreme Court ya day near overturn and not just a High Court ne appeals court no they did not even their application of the law was deficient. You get the point. Enti yentimi nyina we so emfamua ora question kwadu asem ye kan nyina boda on qualification of an MPR what article 94 of the 1992 constitution.
Okay.
Ora article 94 no qualification e dosun. First, your first set of qualification what article 94(1) I say answer now be qualifies so be MP no. I just saw your Ghana ni 1. I just saw bro 21 years 2. I just saw your registered voter. Ebio constituency now person contest woman no. I just saw for the first 10 years no what na for 5 years. And now 10 years na etwa mu no wo keka bo mu what na for 5 years. And now say ufri ho. Last a year our clause 1 of 94 and they say I just say what o taxes are would Kenya why they what ya and a clause 2 and they say ansa na ye bet obeba be ye MP TNU I just say owe allegiance to any other country or my nuti ebrebe no be be MP ebrebe no be MP when you have gone through the ritual of elections and this is defined here Representations of the People's Act, PNDC Law 284.
That's right.
Section 20, subsection D. And grounds are High Court betimi agina so e de declare obi aya to abama no say ya nto abama no ene say abra yeso ani in tie ne o abra ye to abama no so ye Ghana ni no tie na o allegiance to another country. Going by PNDC law 284 no abra ye to abama owura disqualification na ye to up yeso ani in as Ghana MP no na o allegiance to any other country. Ara hosam ne say Judge our Jason was a Samra we don't find a day on Juma. So he did not even consider maybe I'm building a point.
I just want
good.
You quoted something good. For purposes of good, education. Good. Section 20 grounds for cancelling election results.
The
D that you quoted said that the candidate was at the time of his election a person not qualified or a person disqualified for election.
D, no.
D, that the candidate was at the time of his election a person not qualified.
Maybe kind from A, no bra from.
Okay. The A says this: the election of a candidate shall be declared void on an election petition if the High Court is satisfied that the general bribery, general treating, general intimidation, or otherwise misconduct or circumstance, whether similar to those specified in this law or not, have so extensively prevailed. B, that there has been non-compliance with any provision of this law.
Fantastic. That is the law. No, I can want some representation of the people's
of regulations made under this law, and that it appears that the election was not conducted in accordance with the principles laid down by law. And that such non-compliance affected the results. That a corrupt or illegal practice was committed in connection with the election by the candidate or with his knowledge or consent or by agent of the candidate. Then D, that the candidate was at the time of his election.
At the time of election. Good.
A person not qualified.
Good.
Or a person disqualified for election.
At the time of his election was not qualified and just say Abraya to Abama no now unqualified say beto Abama no. TNA or mine can be now watch.
Or say that the candidate was at the time of his
election, the operative word election.
An election. He was a person not qualified. Or a person disqualified for election.
Tia was say or see Abraya to Abama no. Now no beer or qualify say to Abama no. Ora just question Abraya to Abama no 7 December no. Now all allegiance to any other country because maybe na the renunciation certificate about on the 26th of October. You got the point.
The question here is before you apply to be a parliamentary candidate for notice of poll, the question is, are you a Ghanaian who own no allegiance? You can't be a sinner. A law was inflicted. There was an infraction with a law.
Or mine is a parliamentary candidate of a political party. Unya MP. Unya MP. I will enjoy all the rights and privileges of an MP. You won't call for Bebria or Mujina as parliamentary candidate for part or more.
Very good.
Or more life continue. Life goes on. And do what I say. The nomination time yen treating as MP. Na yen fan say wo man no tie free Canada no aba. Wo be contest e wo MPP dinimu. Na wo be ye parliamentary candidate no a wa renounce wo Canadian say one win here. Are you not at a disadvantage? So the time even in our laws, the time who qualify say who enjoy all the privileges and benefits of a member of parliament is when you have been sworn in. And who can mra we are ada ye to abama owura disqualification no ye Ghana ni kronkronkron afi bia ni ne ho meba o mind meba o say
mamen kan bi no na eboa me ho you are a student of law. He says this, that being disqualified, that there has been non-compliance with any provision of this law or of regulation made under this law, that is representation for people's law. And it appears that the election was not conducted in accordance with the principles laid down by law, and that such non-compliance affected the results.
And the principle laid down by law, no, and only qualification of an MP Amedi Kaibo board, so was all your registered voter, and was all your the amount idea where you're deficient, say ade a court ni gina so e declare seat no void no ye CI 127 say at the time I gave nomination no I was say who qualifies or your MP.
That's right.
You get the point. But this is tried law. This is basic tried constitutional law. Say Ghana okay a hierarchy of laws. Now Ghana yemra na yesa himfuchini bi de biachi. The Representation of the People's Act is a statute. And the CI is a subsidiary legislation. And whenever there is conflict between a statute and subsidiary legislation, the statute prevails. It is basic law. Just as whenever there is conflict between the constitution and statute, constitution prevail, Judge, says Amra with your own you base on expert Zenato Rollins. In the case of Zenato Rollins, the first leg of eligibility. So abra to Obama no as NDC PC now on your registered voter. And now ura ni ashite de court say to Obama no on your registered voter. And a court no ejina soka say you won't conform contesting independent candidate or mono do mon party primaries be time this one no acquire the work file. And the only time I'll bet nyaka so be eligible and not on eligible. Yes or they for purposes of ne send the voter register muno abra yeah be a nomination or be filing a nomination because a honor was all trend voters a year day parliamentary especially when na a year electoral commission no I arrangement and almost every trading for you get the point. But the year can who some woman say or raja no or apply for renunciation December 2019 10 year or apply for December 2019 no processes are never cost for his renunciation no need to control and the renunciation about 26 November but a year a final certificate before I ever no near man dear be obey provisional year obey media dance say we commencing the processes to a year renounce a citizen. A DNT yes will be a dual citizen.
Did he produce that electoral commission?
Yes.
There is evidence to the fact say Adana or Cheno the Cocha almost say a provisional certificate a dance say made a year and
or mine now who some woman say as some amount for the petition the comma easy my easy friend I saying ho am I all the buy. I'm also wash us here, dear, and yes, in a clear no, wash us here, dear, Ubetimia, I de Ako, and almost one chance, almost had by national headquarters. Am I yes in national headquarters, clear no? I'm man, clear and say, one call because
I don't know, I'm producing way now court
now, my young friend, or beyond for evidence, judge, this won't hear evidence from anywhere. That is the travesty of justice.
Is that what the judge
read the 64-page judgment? Oh, God. One admitting witness will be a yeasy papa is one friend witness. I bet the dance here say yes in a clear no man contest here. Judge and so on friend on my witness via you can read the 64-page judgment. And
I think the EC is far from
Opa Fred, yes, Opa Fred, Dr.
Bosman
Asari. On running my yeasy to me say Oba no washer where you say, oh yeah, do a citizen. Yes, not me a day a disqualify. And the easy here now, Cofa, na by na yeast so what shall be an answer dia? And ye bemwa coco pims out the bed, ebeba. Emma acquire yeast in national headquarters, Adia Bana Aba court. Now you say, Judge, I send me yeast to cry you to one. What's one tears evidence? No, now, what someone is our woman pa, kese pa. A man you probably brave, he said, Adia no can a CGB and maintain once a woman say. An issue of interpretation arose. One, and I heard Article 130(2). I see the only body a seed with the interpretation of the Constitution, a Supreme Court. Article 1301 and Article 1302. No, say when in the proceedings of a lower court an issue of interpretation arises, the lower court must stay proceedings, refer the matter for interpretation to the Supreme Court, not Supreme Court in Churchill, and Churchill Supreme Court to the Babano. Now, some not to us. Judge, and I say, or no constituting who to a Supreme Court. I interpret Article 294 clause 2A. No, say at the time obi kura dual citizenship no why na was taking effect no judge na constitute no ho to a Supreme Court and interpreted and yet na say kikabo mu no this is a clear case of a travesty of justice na man for the way you toto Adamu Dramani Sakandi we ni Adamu Dramani Sakandi and so baby Adamu Dramani Sakandi at the time of parliament no kura 3 passports okra UK passport, Burkina passport, and a Ghana passport. No initiative processes to renounce even one. But was 31 form Muse. We renounce all those But when the yes ya no na ye body ya shane say on sha about also no. Ono je processor na papa na sha say or they renounce na no ono age to mu say e qualify ne say otumi
what it means is the NDC as a party and Mr. James Kessben has the right to go to
the next level.
The next level with all these documents available, which means that the appeals court will determine that.
Good. But before then, you feel said there is an issue of interpretation about Article 94 Clause 2A. No say a person must not owe allegiance to another country at the time he becomes
PNDC law.
We make a constitution now.
Okay.
Article 94
is also the person shall not be qualified to be a member of parliament if he owes allegiance to the country.
Good. So there is a question of interpretation. When does one become a member of parliament? Is it when he has gone through a ritual of election, or is at the time of filing it?
That is the interpretation.
Good. It is
from the Supreme
Court. It is a Supreme Court interpret say Abra obi any question or allegiance to another country Abra ya to Abamana. Then clearly that equation was qualified.
Okay, Mamiti.
In interpreting the Constitution, the Supreme Court evolve principles via a guide you in interpreting the Constitution. Now, one of that principles, a popular will be a law student, be a backward justice so into 4 verses Attorney General say the law must be interpreted as a living document capable of growth. Certain biano say church and you can see a very literal doctrinaire approach I believe lead to absurdity. But you broad benevolent approach serve the needs of the people or ye day or muho sisia. Or my nadia nene say your constitution say abra ubi beye MP. You get the point. And you can so owe allegiance to Obia. Abra ubi beye MP abra ya to Abama no untimi nka say oh yeah, parliamentary candidate into okay, Subi NDC ni MPP ni nejina as MP waha. Into the fact that we file paper we use in it say NDC candidate betimi carry ne ho as PC, na MPP candidate nso betimi carry ne as PC ana. It clearly will lead to an absurdity. And now Article 47, 48, 9. The Constitution gives the EC the power to regulate its own procedure by a CI.
Yeah.
And say, what someone who can hold them and say, yes, you know, per no one no, or free say, Obi or provisional certificate, not just a wash process, not just a tressa yet me man contest a money ya, untimin case in Imbram. By what authority?
A person shall not be qualified to be a member of parliament if he owes allegiance to a country other than Ghana.
Good.
So at the time,
when does one become a member of parliament? Or my name? Where are you?
That is the issue.
Yes.
But and I want to raise the concern. Say the election is not an event; it's a process.
It's a legal question. When does the law recognize a person as an MP? And you'll be idiosyncrasies, no one interpretation.
So for you, maybe for you know the time the person has been sworn in. I said the time I swear in, no. Now because good. Because
that should be the logical correct position. Because say me a parliamentary candidate, me MP, and the wording of the Constitution is clear. Or see a brand no be. Yatu Abama be as MP. Ora Jachi question 7 December yatu Abama no. Now I renounce na 26 November on kura allegiance to any other country. And today on mine and yama ekos na yam yam say there is a deliberate attempt to use the judiciary.
That is yes, that's why. Then you are also not being fair.
No, mine and SMBC our court. I want say
SMBC catch him.
Court register be a friend or stars why no obi ko file a year injunction against Papa Noa in a matter of 50 minutes. Yes, in a matter of 50 minutes.
Or the convoy.
Or the convoy. Or the buy you munanya no kreno. And no near person file papers are a chesa was a court needs to proceedings. Near wama. Deliberately or said the wama. So there is a deliberate attempt.
No, say it was deliberate.
And yet when you win the decline, first one about injunction and then the way. So it gives us the indication say you said they manipulated judiciary just to tilt just to tilt the balance of power. Not Harun Idrisu in the course of next week you be your press conference. Now you say one your church and your lawyers share a year and yemem a bra say your appeal near your mind on the Uraja equation here and say we SSC and now we BC results how the co-invest in a no certificate to a slip so names are or mine is so names are results how the co-invest in and no and a certificate it's a slip mimi say besin ma ko SS co-invest me just a certificate and kasamen koje me SS certificate and kasamen koje the makoje provisional certificate no a omode banunti say schools etimege provisional certificate me for basis for admission e di enti na yisi ankasa age obi provisional certificate of renunciation
me is it authentic say ECJ provisional?
Yes,
I'm going to verify. I'll my try say me friend me I'm trying to get that
papa ni stating in now
responding to me
papa ni stating in now na you say me certificate of renunciation me the cultural district EC and also metimi amamfo petition me edema district is semen qualify. District is here, no also provisional need to me qualify my contest. Omo ankasa omo anti omo ho ase tie. Omo ankasa anti omo ho ase omo sa de national headquarters. Emma Jemen sande na pamfo e clear me say metimi contest.
Okay, George Paul is also a student of law. We are on initial PM. Osemen Kancho say the EC clearing you or not is immaterial in this question.
No.
The EC may get it wrong, and the court has every right to decide against the EC decision.
No.
If any asks the claim, Abass, you are getting it wrong. That is what he's also
point or no, he's rather and somehow can I think say he's not being fair to the fact because one, the issue I will see in say a brebe and will be MP. Se bra obi be MP e ye bra ya to abama no dia papa no allegiance bia. Secondly, yisi under article 47 48 49 emrama ne ho kwan se ono as an independent body e the CI e regulate elections bi obeye bia na yisi agea to ho say provisional to me yeah or yeah then I will say yisi got it wrong.
Samra ya representation of the People's Act and an readia a quote to say principles be of the very same arrangement for elections. No, if it is seem not to be have been adhered to, it even nullifies.
But was any principle not adhered to?
No. Must say all Baba feeling informed. No, or actually, say no clear was so dini weni.
No clear was so dini so mine. Yisi is the final authority or here, but also, and constitutional man discretion so no to me regulating elections and the woman say answer no be betimi a contest and you can so allegiance was say we the renounce so and I use no amra man discretion say otimi regulate you know or say provisional certificate is as good as an absolute certificate.
That's what the EC said.
Some would you two money there, that is the assumption. Supreme Court don't say call MPP say is a mistake or or correct and some rebellion you are and my yisi can say oh yes yeah now be a mistake or they all qualify but interpreting the constitution as a living document capable of yes
that is the document
yes Supreme Court and I say a court electoral commission say omo the be or and say do says omo na alpha and omega fit say na we anka ndc anko court empobra ono announce the results our yam from so no ndc didn't court
okay
and the fact is say what say and maming champutu any provisional ABR forms on so
a certificate.
I'm telling you, me can't
but he is saying the EC used his discretion.
Onona oti Kessben ha me nyina chinye ana woka Who say emreninti and I want to verify. But
why would I come
and money who say and yes I net yet. The tosum you the easy bet my advice but and no interest I am rat. And untina ebra isi no announce on the results we and what Supreme Court because who say elections na we and konko bi achi konko actually konko e Supreme Court. And it was out yes sir. Akopem say ye nyina me ka ye nyina wo ne me ye be ka no kre abatoɔ no efiri baabi na kɔwie baabi.
Okay.
Constitution no a ye ka ho asɛm no yes bedru baabi kra na wo kai portion bi na wo jai portion bi enye complete be boana but we say no wahiri atra ehonum ni nyina no akɔgyina ho sɛ ana ma hene twa agi so sɛ ɛyɛ process and the plan me so make bi sɛ ɛyɛ process but anra me hwɛ sa traverse of justice me hwɛ na wo circulate pa and you only enne ayi dan to say obey defend the na wo circulate no.
Thank you very much. There's nothing like 3-2. Nurudeen should understand that the time Quest was filing his nomination form, he was not having the at the end of the day, Emrebi Asha Sesani Bekana, Emre Asha from January to now. So that is why the lawyers say it's absurdity. I was your forever Jumadi this year. Thank you very much. It is time for midfield action, and God willing, tomorrow morning we'll meet it for last day. Thank you very much, Nurudeen Abass, and thank you, Honorable Ode.